Hey, what's up buddy, welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'll be talking about what the best builds for Berserker. If you already watched my other video, you probably already know that video is outdated. This is why I'm making this one now. There will be some things I won't go over in details since I already did that in the other video, just so you don't get bored hearing everything again. Alright, let's start. Like always, I'm gonna begin by talking about the armor. There'll be 6 different armor sets that we'll talk about, starting from the beginning. You heard this already, but you can start off dungeons with superior, strong, or frozen blaze armor. However, upgrade as soon as possible because you will struggle in higher floors. The second set is a 3-4 zombie soldier armor with Bonzo mask. The epic zombie soldier does decent amount of damage and cheap, and if you want to, you can use the spirit boots instead, but that's expensive. The third set is adaptive armor. This set gives you good strength and can tank majority of the mobs up to floor 5, and most importantly, the full set bonus makes it better. The fourth set is 2-4 zombie knight armor with skeleton master helmet and spirit boots. The zombie knight has a really good strength and on top of that, good defense. And with the skeleton master helmet, it does more damage. However, if you still feel squishy with the helmet, you can use the Bonzo mask as it can save your life more than you think. The fifth set is 3x4 Shadow Assassin with either tier 9 to tier 12 perfect chestplate or zombie knight chestplate. The Shadow Assassin is very tanky and on top of that does a lot of damage inside and outside dungeons. Both chestplates work, but the perfect chestplate is very tanky obviously, so if that's what you want, then go for that. Just keep in mind that the perfect armor needs to be a dungeon armor, so yeah, keep that in mind. And for the final set, you probably already guessed it, is the full Shadow Assassin armor. You might be wondering, why won't I just buy the Shadow Assassin chestplate instead of the other chestplates? Well, because it's not cheap at all. It's around 45 million coins right now. Now that we've talked about all the armor pieces, let's summarize. Superior, strong, and frozen blaze armor is for starters if you just started dungeons. If you want to be able to do early stages, you can manage with 3-4 epic zombie soldier with Bonzo mask, but you will have issues in higher floors. You can get full adaptive armor, but in my opinion, 2-4 zombie knight armor with skeleton master helmet and spirit boots is better and does more damage. Both work really well, but you might not be able to tank floor 6 terracotts. Or 3-4 Shadow Assassin with Zombie Knight or tier 9 to 12 chestplate is amazing and honestly the best affordable set for endgame players, but full Shadow Assassin is the best overall. And what's good about that is that you can upgrade the Shadow Assassin with livid frags to legendary rarity, and if you recombobulate it, it becomes mythic. Well actually, I forgot to mention that Frozen Blaze Armor 5-star is better than the Shadow Assassin, but you have to be Catacomb 29, so yeah, think about that if you want. Okay, so we talked about the set, but what reforge should you use? Well, the answer is Fierce. And if you are rich, Renowned is the best. Now for pets. Ah yes, the pets. There's always a debate with which is the best pet to choose. So let's start. I'll start with explaining each pet and then summarize them and tell you what you should use. The first pet is the Ender Dragon. This pet is a really expensive pet that gives you a decent amount of strength, crit damage, crit chance, and also buffs your aspects of the dragon sword by a lot and increases your stats. The second pet is Tiger. Tiger pet gives you strength, crit damage, crit chance, has a chance to strike again, and does more damage if there is no other mobs within 15 blocks. The third pet is Wither Skeleton. Same base stats as Tiger, but also gives defense and intelligence. The pet makes you take less damage from skeletons, deal more damage to Wither Skeletons, and gives mobs the Wither effect when you hit them. The fourth pet is the Blue Whale. Gives good amount of health and defense because of the ability that gives you 3 defense for every 20 health. The fifth pet is the Baby Yeti. Gives strength and intelligence as base stats and has the ability to give you defense depending on your strength. The sixth pet is Blaze. This pet buffs Blaze armor by a percentage and doubles the effect of hot potato books. Now for the conclusion, the Ender pet does a lot of damage, but the problem is that it is really expensive and not worth it for its price, especially when there are other pets that are better. Wither Skeleton is a good damage dealer, but honestly just a squishy pet, especially if you need to tank the terracotts in floor 6. Tiger pet is also a decent damage pet, really helpful for thorns because of the ability to shoot 2 arrows at the same time. But like I said with the Wither Skeleton, a squishy pet. Blaze pet is good because of the ability that doubles hot potato books. Because in dungeons, it multiplies it a lot, which increases your effective HP. Although, Blue Whale is better for effective HP, in my opinion. I recommend using this pet if you're using a 5-star Frozen Blaze armor. The Blue Whale is so underrated honestly. With the ability to give you 3 defense per 20 health, in dungeons that is a lot of defense. This pet increases your effective HP by a lot. The Baby Yeti is everyone's favorite pet right now because of the perk that gives you the defense depending on your strength. Since inside dungeons you got a lot of strength, you will have a lot of defense. The only disadvantage of this pet is that it only gives you defense, so mobs that do true damage will make you slightly squishy. Not that big of a difference to be honest. Overall, Baby Yeti or Blue Whale are both really good tanky pets, but my favorite is Blue Whale. The other pets are damage-based pets, but they are squishy. If that's what you're going for, then you should use the legendary Wither Skeleton or the Epic Tiger. A good tip that I can give you is that you can switch to a tanky pet during floor 6 boss room so you can survive the Terracotta phase. Alright, so we've talked about pets, now let's talk about the pet items. There are so many good pet items, so choose yourself which fits you best. If you want no knockback, use the Dwarf Turtle Shellmet. The no knockback can be very helpful to get more hits on mobs without them swinging you around. There is also the Bigger Teeth if you like crit chance. Antique Remedies is good for doing damage. The Tiger Plushie if you want the 100% attack speed, which can be very helpful because sometimes you waste your reforges on attack speed. If you are using a sword that gives 100% attack speed, you don't need to worry about this. Now let's move to swords. The swords I will be mentioning is Aspect of the Dragon, 50 Million Midas, Adaptive Blade, Spirit Sword, Livid Dagger, Flower of Truth, Shadow Fury, and Giant Sword. The Aspect of the Dragon and 50 Million Midas are both decent weapons to use in early stages and only use it if you're just starting to get into dungeons. Adaptive Blade 5-star is better than Aspect of the Dragon and 50 Million Midas, and it is cheaper to get. Good mid-game weapon, but past floor 4, honestly, I would not recommend it. Spirit Sword deals really good damage, better than Adaptive Blade, and has the perk to deal more damage to undead mobs. The Livid Dagger has 100% crit chance and 100% attack speed, which makes the sword a lot better. This way, you won't need to have crit chance or attack speed reforges in your Talisman, meaning you can get more strength and crit damage. On top of that, it has the ability to deal 100% more damage if you hit them from behind. Overall amazing, and I recommend it. For the Flower of Truth, this sword has an ability that shoots a rose that hits 3 enemies. However, in terms of the melee damage, it's weaker than the Livid Dagger. Only use it for its ability, but that's up to you. It's really helpful for clearing out rooms. You can pretty much one-tap everything with the ability. Shadow Fury is better than Livid if you have the right Talisman reforges, but it's an expensive weapon for a weapon that's slightly better than the Livid Dagger. And finally, we have the Giant Sword. In my opinion, the best Berserker weapon, but once again really expensive. In conclusion, use the Flower of Truth for long range damage and Giant Sword for melee, but if you can't afford that, Livid Dagger is really good. Now for the sword reforges, Fabled is the best reforge, but isn't cheap, so if you can't afford that, use Spicy for damage or Fast for attack speed. Next up, we have the helpful items. The first item is Florid Zombie Sword. If you watched my last video, you already know about the Zombie Sword. However, there is a new upgrade called the Florid, and I 100% recommend it if you want to heal yourself more. This sword has a good healing ability where it heals you for 168 HP plus 5% of your total health. If this sword is too expensive for you, you can use the Wand of Restoration or Wand of Mending, which are fairly cheap where it heals you for an amount of health per second for a duration of time. Another helpful item is the Weird Tuba. This item gives you 30 strength and 30 speed for 20 seconds, really good for berserkers. Another one is the Voodoo Doll. It has a good long range ability, but if you're using the Flower of Truth, you don't need it. It's good to have though for the extra damage. And finally, we have the Mana Flux or Overflux. An Overflux is a buffed version of the Mana Flux and more expensive. They both increase your regen health and mana over time and give you more strength. Last up, we have the Talisman reforges. For berserkers, there are 2 different routes you can take, for damage or attack speed. For damage, reforge the common to rare to shaded, and the epic to strong or shaded, and legendary to strong. Now for the attack speed, reforge common to bloody, uncommon to strange, rare to forceful, epic to strong and some strange, and legendary to strong. And that's it. I hope you guys found this video very helpful. If you have any questions or have any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below or even in my Discord server. I'll put a link in the description. There's a place in the Discord where you can post your dungeon builds, so feel free to post yours there, help other people. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.